Now let's talk about feedback loops for a second, and let's go through some study tips when we reach that time. But yeah. Feedback loops, they can be negative feedback loops or positive feedback loops. Negative feedback loops counteracts the stimulus, such as thermoregulation. Positive feedback loops reinforces the stimulus, such as breastfeeding. Let's look at thermoregulation for a bit. Actually, it will be cooler if I just go through it slowly. First, let's talk about thermoregulation. Let's say when body temperature increases. It is first detected by thermoreceptors and the hypothalamus. Then it will be detected by the central nervous system, which will send signals to blood vessels, where blood vessels will start to vasodilate. Where vasodilation is the process by which blood vessels will expand to allow more blood flow to go through them. Sweat glands will start sweating, obviously, because sweating helps with evaporative cooling. Don't forget that. And then cells lead to the reduction of metabolism, right? Because as you reduce metabolism, they reduce the amount of heat energy which is being released during metabolism. All of this would aid to bring back the body into a homeostatic state where the temperature is what it should be. Now let's assume the temperature has dropped below normal levels. This will be detected by thermoreceptors again and the hypothalamus, which will send signals to the central nervous system of what's happening. And as signals are sent to the central nervous system, eventually the central nervous system will send signals to blood vessels, which will result in vasoconstriction. it will send signals to skeletal muscles, which will result in shivering. Right? So when you shiver, it's your central nervous system telling your body to start producing more heat energy. And then the cells will lead to an increase in metabolism. Obviously, shivering increasing metabolism will release more thermal energy with vasoconstriction as well. Now, vasoconstriction actually does not release more energy. It just restricts the blood flow to the peripheral sides of our body. So if this is our arm and then this is our skin, a vasoconstriction will again distance our veins and arteries from the skin. So it will try and it will try and increase the distance between the skin and the blood to prevent heat energy from being lost, but it doesn't create more heat energy. So this is how homeostatic balance is maintained, right? So this is how thermoregulation happens. I hope this is all good. Another important one, which I did touch up upon a little bit, is blood glucose regulation. Now, this is detected by the receptors in the pancreas. Pancreas will release insulin, and the insulin targets the liver to convert glucose to glycogen. Which will eventually lead to a decrease in blood glucose levels and result in a homeostatic state. However, if blood glucose levels fall a little bit too much, then this will be detected by the receptors in the pancreas. The pancreas then will release glucagon, which is a hormone that carries out the opposite function of insulin. Glucagon targets the liver to convert glycogen to glucose, because yes, the liver is where glycogen sometimes is stored. This will result in the release of glucose in the blood, and therefore homeostasis will be achieved again. Now, obviously, there are other examples. such as osmoregulation, which you also need to know, where increased water levels in the body will be detected by osmoreceptors in the hypothalamus. Therefore, the hypothalamic neurons will produce less ADH, and therefore the posterior pituitary gland releases less ADH in the bloodstream, which results in decreased permeability in a distal convoluted tubule. Therefore resulting in the body reaching homeostasis once again. However, if there is not enough water in the body, this will be detected again by osmoreceptors in the hypothalamus. The hypothalamic neurons will produce ADH, antidiuretic hormone. The posterior pituitary gland releases ADH in the bloodstream. Which it will lead to an increased permeability in the distal convoluted tubule. And therefore homeostasis will be reached once more.